Coronavirus. COVID-19. What is this stuff? Hey, yo, Pops, I got a question.
Yeah, man, what's going on?
I got this history assignment, something called the coronavirus, and I don't really understand it.
Wow, man. I don't recall something about the coronavirus. That changed everything. I was the editor at the paper at the time, and things just changed. President was Trump. Bill Lee was the governor. Let me see. Who was the mayor? Jim Strickland, I believe it was. And Lee Harris. He was the Shelby County mayor. And everything just changed. People couldn't do what they used to do. Man, look, I think I can shed some light on your subject.
If only you can go back and do one of those top 10 videos, but I guess it's too late for that now.
Oh man, it ain't never too late for that. It ain't never too late. All I got to do is do this right here.
Back in 2020 to do this bestsellers list.
Ooh, shit.
Still back in the year 2020 to do this bestsellers list to help out everybody with the top 10 things that the coronavirus has put into our lexicon since the year 2020 and way beyond in the future. So let's get started with our countdown. As you can see, I got all dressed up to come back in time to do this countdown as we start with number 10, curfew. Curfew is a word that has been tossed around for ages. Usually it applies to teenagers when their parents want them to be home at a certain time. But when you have a pandemic, your government might want you to be home at a certain time. So back in 2020 in Memphis, Tennessee, we had to be home by midnight. And in certain municipalities around, the curfew was even earlier. You telling grown people they gotta be home? We learned about the word curfew really quick. That's number 10, curfew. Coming in at number 9, curbside pickup. As a man like me who like to eat then and now in the future, getting to a restaurant, sitting down eating, it's a pleasure. And now we realized back in 2020 it became a luxury because we could not go into restaurants and physically eat anymore. We had to either pick it up through takeout or use this thing that we had back then called Uber Eats or DoorDash. But some restaurants didn't have that technology or had that service, so you had to drive up to the outside of the building, order your food outside the building. They brought your food to you on the curb, hence curbside pickup, and that's how you took your food home. That's how they stayed in business. And that's how we still got some of them today who updated their technology and their ways of getting you food. But number 9, curbside pickup. Now, by the time of this video, he might be in the Hall of Fame, and I'm not sure, but he's definitely in the lexicon of this chapter in this lesson. Rudy Gobert, NBA All-Star center at the time of 2020, who was the first prominent person to test positive with COVID-19. Now, there's an infamous video of him that's still out there when he was touching all the tape recorders of the reporters, mocking it. Then, when his positive test came back, then Commissioner Adam Silver had to shut down the league, which led to shutting down of the NFL, Major League Baseball, the whole world. So he's like the Archduke Ferdinand of the COVID-19 during this time. So Rudy Gobert has an infamous page in history. Coming in at number 7, self-isolation / quarantine. As you can see from the sad face, our government told us to stay home to help prevent COVID-19 coronavirus from spreading. So people had to find out how much they loved each other by staying at home, being stuck with your significant other, your children, your parents. Oh, it was a tough time. We couldn't go anywhere, plus everything was closed, including churches, where they limit how many people can go to church. So people fighting over who's gonna go to the grocery store just to get out the house and get some fresh air. But self-isolation and quarantine, there's a difference. Self-isolation is when you're sick with COVID-19 and you have to stay home and you pretty much have to stay away from your family. Quarantine would happen when you were around somebody that might have had COVID-19. They told you to stay home for at least 2 weeks to make sure you didn't spread it so the disease can be dormant. But this became a part of our lexicon, self-isolation and quarantine. Okay, coming in at number 6 is essential. The word essential, you think it'll be number one because it's essential, but no, not in this case. Essential was a description for certain jobs that we had at that time, and it allowed you to still continue to work. These places were allowed to stay open during the pandemic so people can still get food, get medical treatment. But here's the thing that became a controversy with essential jobs. Liquor stores were deemed essential. Now, let me tell you why. Because they serve restaurants, so people still need to get their liquor. And I guess when you're going through a depressive state, you might want to take a couple drinks here and there. But then jobs like salons, barbershops, gyms were not essential. Gyms were not essential during this time. That was asinine. But essential became like this important thing. It lets you know when you're driving on the street and police might stop you, you held up a form and said, hey, I'm essential personnel. This is number 6. But before we get to the rest of the countdown, those people that you met earlier with the skit, that was my dad and my godson, Louis Delgado, and Thomas Wayne Sellers Sr. We're going to talk to them to get their thoughts on all this social stuff that was happening back in 2020 and 2040. Or is it 2020? Just check it out. Hi, I'm Thomas Sellers Jr. I'm still here in the year 2020 with our best sellers list. We're at the midway point. And a couple familiar faces to you if you watch the beginning of the video. We have my godson here, Louis Delgado, and we got my pops, my dad, Thomas Sellers Sr., who portrayed me in the future. So, gentlemen, I want to first thank y'all for participating. And as you know, our subject, we're talking about the lexicon of the coronavirus has brought us today in present day 2020. A lot of changes. We got 3 generations standing here. Everybody heard my mouth so far and will hear what I have to say later on. But let's get from your perspective. As a 17-year-old young man, you just found out school is canceled for the year. How you feeling?
Frustrated.
It's frustrating?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's canceling our school time. So the time that we already put into school, we're getting these last little few months out, which I don't really appreciate because it's taking away from us learning things and messing with our testing dates.
Okay. And what if I tell you you're a junior currently, you'll be a senior, you have to do your junior year all over
I'm dropping
again.
out.
Okay, I just joke. I'm pretty sure you don't have to do it over again, but yeah, that's a real concern for a lot of kids. Now, bring to my dad a man who, I want to go ahead and tell you today, almost 60 years old. You lived through some things in history. You remember 9/11 and all those good things, and Dr. King's assassination and stuff like that. But you never seen anything like this. When this started to sweep the nation, what was going through your mind?
It was actually that things were going to change, and that things were going to actually stay the way the changes were made were going to remain. And I wondered what those changes would be and how that would change the way we live forever.
Now, I'm hoping they get a vaccine so maybe we can get back to the days of handshaking and hugging, and you can walk across the stage next year and graduate. Are you concerned about not having your graduation next year?
No, I think it'll bypass over by the time I have to graduate.
So you think this hot summer in Memphis is going to help get everything cured and things like that?
I hope so.
Okay, so let me ask you this question as a young man. What's the biggest life lesson you learned from this? You know, a lot of people said don't take anything for granted. Is that something you learned?
That's a big part in it.
Okay, you participate in your band, ROTC, extracurricular activities, see your classmates up at Kingsbury. What do you miss the most?
The school environment of just the peers that I have and the teachers.
So you just miss the everyday environment?
Yeah.
That Falcon Nation, yes sir. Dad, as a man who, sometimes I see you have a mask on, sometimes you don't. Your routine has changed and everything like that. What's the biggest life lesson you learned during this time?
I worry a lot more about family than I used to, their safety, well-being, and I don't take anything for granted anymore. Life is important, and it can change for the worse in a second.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I know we have social distancing now, but I'm blessed to have my godson here and my dad here to share this moment with and share this video with, so we can do something like this that hopefully could last to the year 2040. And people confused about things, they just hit this video if YouTube is still around and learn a little something. But gentlemen, thank you as we get back to the rest of our top 5.
Giselle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I caught me being a little lazy here. It's tough writing on this board so much. And number 5 is non-essential. Y'all can see that, right? Non-essential. Not to say they wasn't important, because it looks like I don't even care about them, but non-essential workers were people that they deemed didn't have to go to their jobs and it wasn't too important. So they closed down a lot of stuff and shut down a lot of stuff during this era of COVID-19. And a lot of people found out that the job they did every day, work hard their whole life, was non-essential. That was very disrespectful, and I just added to it by doing that. Let's just go on to number 4.
Giselle.
Coming in at number 4, Zoom meeting. That's my attempt at the logo that became prominent and became an app on everybody's cell phone back in 2020. Zoom allowed people to still conduct business at their office, or allow people to even have church meetings. It was a device where people could like see each other, talk in real time, and discuss things, but it also gave access to Big Brother by everything we were doing and everything. But the Zoom company saw a boom, Zoom boom, kind of rhymes, at this time with their devices and their apps and everything like that. And this has been a part of our lexicon since that day, the Zoom meeting.
Giselle.
Okay, coming in at number 3, the reason why we having this countdown, and we'll introduce all the other words to our lexicon, coronavirus, COVID-19. Now here's where the difference, where this little buggeroo right here changes. Coronavirus has been there since the beginning of time. It's just part of cells. It what makes us sick, from the flu to the common cold and all that good stuff. But it came in 2019 in Wuhan, China, and spread across the world. Hence, we gave the name COVID-19. This had started in the year 2020. It would have been COVID-20. But that's COVID-19, and now we're all aware of coronavirus. Before 2019, people thought coronavirus was a person who drank too many Corona beers and had a nice drunk night on spring break and fell out. But no, it's something very serious, and when a strain of it changes, we have to find medicine to help combat it. And thank God the scientists were working hard in 2020 to help us stave off this new version of coronavirus / COVID-19.
Giselle.
Coming in at number 2 was the government's nice way of saying we don't have to do martial law. Stay at home / safer at home. And there's a third variation called shelter in place. These are basically orders that came down from mayors of cities, and at the time in Memphis was Jim Strickland and Lee Harris, the Shelby County mayor, or your governor at the time, Bill Lee, state of Tennessee, or the president even, Donald J. Trump, to help us fight this disease. We don't need you out there spreading germs, so stay at home. You're safer at home, because if you're out there, you might catch this stuff, you might die. So this became a very important order in which people who obeyed it and followed it felt pretty good that they weren't going to get this coronavirus. But there were some hard-headed people out there that had to do what they had to do, and it made laws and regulations even stricter. But a very important part of our lexicon during this time was stay at home, safer at home, or shelter in place.
Giselle.
And finally, we're at number 1, social distancing. In 2020, we got tired of hearing this word, this phrase. Oh my goodness. 6 feet apart, some cases 13 feet apart. Only 10 people can be in the building at the same time. All these rules came up. It led to the cancellation of the school year across the country. A lot of churches had to start going online to do services. Way we went to shopping and job, we had to look at signs and tape on the floor and had to stand so far apart. This is one of the things that stuck with us, but we still going to use in the future to make sure we keep each other safe and respect each other's space with social distancing.
Hey, yo, what's up, man?
Whoa, 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 did you just listen to anything I just said?
But it's 2040.
Oh yeah, it is. But let's go super old school.